Welcome in, everybody, to the Chris Hatcher Show. I'm Brad Radice, sitting next to the head coach himself, Chris Hatcher. Well, Citadel 40, Samford 13. Not the result we wanted, but, Coach, what was nice was the big crowd out at Pete Hanna Stadium on a hot, sticky day in Birmingham. They wore their red, and they cheered on the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. That's 2 weeks in a row that we've had great support from the Samford faithful. You know, unfortunately, I don't think the score is indicative of how the game was played.
Yeah.
Right there. I thought that our team improved a great deal from week 1 to week 2. Like I said in my press conference earlier, we're making a lot of great plays, but the few bad ones we make are really bad. And it's like all gas, no brakes all the time. And we're hunting consistent play and not the self-inflicted wounds that are haunting us in these ball games.
Yeah, we must lead the nation in fumbles returned for touchdowns. It has to be close, but you mentioned it. Self-inflicted wounds. Citadel had 17 points off those turnovers. Is there any rhyme or reason to it? I mean, but you said it's fixable.
Absolutely. You know, we work ball security all the time. A lot of it's making just good decisions with the football.
Yeah.
We had 3 turnovers in the red zone.
Yeah.
We had 1 turnover. We had a good drive going. We fumbled. They picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown. You got to know when the journey's over sometimes. Yeah. I think we're fighting, trying. I guess the point I made with the team the other day is we're trying to win the game on one play.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. Mm-hmm. And that's when you're on a roller coaster ride throughout the course of a ball game. So consistency has been the word this week with our football team. But, Brad, if you look throughout the course of the game defensively, we're playing really well. You know, we only gave up 6 points in sudden change situations, which is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. We played good. We gave up 4 explosive plays for a total of 179 yards.
Yeah.
You eliminate those, we hold the Citadel to 151 yards of offense. That's winning football.
It is.
Offensively, we ran 94 plays for over 450 yards.
Yeah.
Scored 13 points. Mm-hmm. That's hard to do.
It is.
And of course, the 4 turnovers were just critical. You just cut half of them out, you probably win the football game. And then our special teams play has been just, very up and down as well. We had 3 crucial penalties, 1 negated, a tremendous individual effort by C.J. Evans. You eliminate one of those penalties, you're playing winning football, still with a lot of things to correct, but you're feeling a lot better about going in there and correcting them. So we have a lot of work to do, but all the things that I mentioned before I mentioned the negatives are tremendous improvements from week 1 to week 2. With a young, inexperienced football team, I see us doing nothing but continuing to get better week in and week out.
You mentioned the young team, and I think people sometimes lose sight of is coaching young players on how to win ball games, playing winning football, because let's face it, winning a football game in college is tough, isn't it?
Absolutely, and again, that's, I don't want that to come off as an excuse, but we do have young, inexperienced players.
Yeah.
And part of that is every team you coach is different.
Yeah.
Even if you had all returners coming back, that team's going to have a different mindset.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that out as you go. So as much as the players have been learning us and how we do things, we're learning still how to coach them and give them the tools they need to be successful.
Yeah.
I think if you would ask the majority of my team that's been around, our staff's been just tremendously patient this year in training camp, of really just taking all these moments to teach our guys how to improve more so than ever before. Yeah. But that's one aspect of it. But the second aspect is your players have to accept that coaching and teaching.
Yeah.
And our guys have been doing that. Mm-hmm. But our execution, of course, the 2 games, you can look at the scoreboard, it shows that we're not executing at the level we need to. And that's something that we have to improve on this week in order to have the season that we are capable of having.
You mentioned the 450-plus yards. The defense played well. I feel, and tell me if I'm wrong, that if we can just get like this together and put one total game together, this team, like you said, in your media availability, you compared it to a Netflix show, might not be so hot to start with, but it's going to be hot when it ends.
Well, I told the team that this is going to be the greatest season Samford's ever had. And I alluded to that, you're watching a show and, man, after 5 minutes, you're going, I want to turn it off, go watch somebody else. But you say, hang in there a little while longer, then all of a sudden you're binge watching and you can't put the show down.
Right.
I feel in my gut that that's the type of team we have. And again, we have to play complementary football.
Right.
And then more importantly than that, we need some confidence.
Sure.
And we had some opportunities to build that the other night. Again, as bad as it was going, we score, and we got a chance to cut the lead. We get a quick stop and cut the lead to a 2-score game with still 14 minutes left in the ball game. And the way we were moving the ball, that was a very feasible deal to do. We just couldn't finish at that point. So, again, we understand we got a lot of work to do. We understand that the outcomes are not what we wanted or hoped for, but we're still very early in this season.
We turn our attention to Baylor. They're on the horizon here, a hot one there in Waco at 11 o'clock. I know some people might say, oh, my gosh, we're playing Waco, or playing Baylor. Does it focus the team, though, in practice as they're looking to take that next step?
Well, the biggest thing about playing, quote, money games is you get the opportunity to go play a Power 4 team on a national stage in a tremendous environment. Yeah. Our players don't get to experience that but once a year, this year, 2 times. So they're excited about that. And I tell them all the time, coaches and players, we get to put our skills up against the best in the country.
Yeah.
So right there off the get-go, you have, I would say, added motivation, but your intensity level picks up just like that. Again, these games are very difficult to prepare for because you are outmanned in a lot of positions, especially on the O and D lines. That's where those guys have the huge advantage. So you have to craft the game plan in such a way to have early success. You have to limit explosive plays, something that has haunted us in all 3 phases of the game, to give you a chance in the fourth quarter to win the ball game. Fortunately for us, in my tenure here, 3 times we've been in those situations, and then unfortunately sometimes we haven't been in those situations. But our guys are going to prepare well. We're working on us. We're working on being a better fundamental football team, and who knows whether that'll show up on Saturday, but we are excited about the opportunity.
I know you have a couple of personal connections there out in Baylor, friends on the staff, plus they have some air raid principles that you're well aware of.
They do, and they do a phenomenal job of spreading the field. They run the football very good. Defensively, if there's a way to maneuver your coverage and blitz, they have figured it out. Yeah. The utmost respect for Coach Aranda. We've known of each other a long time. He's an extremely smart coach. He was at Delta State in 2007. Thank goodness I had left. That was my last season at Valdosta State. And then Spavital, their OC, he's an air raid guy, comes from that tree. And then their offensive line coach, Mason Miller, who was with Mike Leach for a long time, was a teammate of mine at Valdosta State. So a lot of familiarity in that area. But, those guys are coming off a huge win over SMU, who made the playoffs last year, a 17th ranked team in the country. They played really well against Auburn at times. They were probably a little more inconsistent than they hoped. But, they have a team that has a chance to win the Big 12 championship. So I'm sure they're not going to take it easy on us. But we're going to go down there and give it the old college stride, represent Samford in the best way that we possibly can.
With them kind of dabbling into that air raid, do you maybe offer a little advice to the defense this week, maybe more than usual?
Not really. They see it every day at practice.
Gotcha.
And there's, again, I think the air raid gets overused a little bit.
Okay.
It's more of a philosophy of keeping it simple, repetitions, your guys go on the field and know how to execute. It's not as much as the plays that you run. But we are similar in a lot of aspects, but they got big receivers. They got faster receivers. Their O-line is massive. So bottom line is you have to keep it simple for your players to be able to go out there and play fast, because the initial onslaught that teams like this, they put on you we just don't see that speed every day in practice like we'll see on Saturday.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, good luck to you and the team. Let's go out there and let's give them a good scare. If not, take home a win.
Well, we're playing to win now. There's no reason to go down there if you're not going to play to win the game. But again, we have to play our best, and they can't play their best in order for it to happen. But that's why you play the game. You never know what's going to happen.
Yes, sir. It's Samford on the road at Baylor this weekend, an 11 o'clock kickoff. Folks, we'll be back next week to break it all down right here on the Chris Hatcher Show.